Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Worst Bold and the Beautiful storylines Hope, Taylor, Finn, and more. The Bold and the Beautiful is on fire lately, but their 2024 storylines often left fans angry or disappointed. From Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, recast, Luna Nozawa's Lisa Yamada, blatant retcons, to the contentious plot surrounding broken heart syndrome. These plots left viewers frustrated with Brad Bell, the head writer and showrunner of the CBS soap opera. Bold and Beautiful's mishandling saw the non-existent love life of Bill Spencer, Don Diamond, rank 5th on our list of worst plots. We know Dollar Bill Spencer is a silver fox. Yet Bill had no action at all other than his not-daughter trying to molest Bill Spencer. And swapping of Thomas Forrester, Matthew Atkinson, for Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, was our 4 worst story. Bold and the Beautiful plugged Carter in to replace Thomas in Hope Logan's Annika Noel life. 3 on our list was Bold and the Beautiful unwarranted recasting of Taylor Hayes, originally played by Krista Allen. They fired her, seemingly fibbed to fans about it, and then turned around and replaced her. Rebecca Budig is a great actress, but why even pull this stunt? Our second worst plot we ranked for B&B in 2024 was Finn, Tanner Novlin, being a total moron. He's been portrayed as the biggest fool in the show, and it didn't sit well with the audience. To check out our 1 worst Bold and the Beautiful storyline, be sure to check out the full video. And we do a deep dive into why these bad writing decisions happened, and our better hopes for 2025. Worst Bold and the Beautiful storylines Hope, Taylor, Finn, and more. The Bold and the Beautiful, a long-running soap opera, has certainly seen its share of memorable characters and dramatic twists. However, not every plotline has been a hit with fans. In fact, there have been some storylines so frustrating, baffling, or outright nonsensical that they've left viewers shaking their heads. Among the many characters who have been involved in these eyebrow-raising arcs, Hope Logan, Taylor Hayes, and Finn Finnegan stand out. Let's take a dive into some of the worst storylines involving these characters, as well as others who have contributed to the wild, confusing, and occasionally downright ridiculous plots. 1. Hope's never-ending love triangle. Hope Logan has been embroiled in numerous love triangles, but none more frustrating than her long-running saga with Liam Spencer and Thomas Forrester. Despite her proclaimed love for Liam, Hope's fluctuating feelings for Thomas have caused viewers to wonder if she's ever really sure about anything in her love life. Thomas, who was initially shown as a scheming villain, underwent a bizarre redemption arc that had Hope's heartstrings pulled in all sorts of directions. The worst part? The repetitive nature of the love triangle. It often felt like Hope was caught in an eternal loop, broken up, reunited, then torn between Liam and Thomas again. The back and forth dragged on for years, with Hope making choices that viewers could predict almost a mile away. At times, the lack of growth in Hope's character in her relationships left fans frustrated. It was the same old narrative, Hope in doubt, Thomas scheming, and Liam playing the frustrated husband. 2. Taylor's awful paternity drama. Taylor Hayes' return to the show brought with it a plotline that was designed to be a bombshell. The shocking revelation that she may have been the biological mother of Ridge Forrester's children, despite being involved with Brooke Logan at the time. This storyline forced viewers to relive the same tired conflict between Taylor and Brooke, with both women fighting over Ridge's affections for decades. The addition of a secret paternity twist, one that had been hidden for decades, felt like a desperate attempt to reignite interest in the Taylor-Brooke rivalry. However, it quickly became clear that it was an unnecessary and frustrating extension of storyline that had already been done to death. Fans were tired of hearing about paternity tests, and were especially frustrated with how it dragged on and contributed nothing meaningful to Taylor's development. 3. Finn's death and resurrection. Finn Finnegan's tragic death in 2022 was a heart-wrenching moment for many fans, especially considering how deeply his character had been woven into the fabric of the show. As the husband of Steffy Forrester and the father of their child, Finn's death appeared to be a permanent and emotional storyline. But, as it often happens in soap operas, the storyline took a ridiculous turn, with the character being resurrected in a manner that defied logic and sent viewers in turn was a storyline that left fans questioning the show's commitment to continuity and realism. To make matters worse, the way in which he was brought back was overly convoluted. His resurrection felt like an attempt to undo a major plot point in the most lazy and convenient manner possible. Fans were disappointed by the lack of a meaningful storyline for Finn's return. Instead of focusing on real emotional recovery and the aftermath of the tragedy, the writers chose to turn the event into a convenient plot device that undermined the weight of the original death. 4. Hope and Liam's baby drama. Another notable misstep in Hope Logan's storyline came in the form of her baby's paternity. The plot became a confusing mess when it was suggested that Hope may have been carrying a child that wasn't Liam's, even though the couple had been trying for a baby. While the intention behind the storyline was likely to create drama and inject some suspense, it ended up being more a headache than a compelling plot. Fans were not only frustrated by the constant back and forth, but also by the sense that Hope and Liam's relationship was being tested by manufactured issues rather than organic problems. The suspense surrounding whether or not Hope would have a child with Thomas was drawn out for far too long, and when the truth was finally revealed, it felt anticlimactic. This arc showed how a soap opera could turn the most mundane and predictable storyline into a drawn-out mess. 5. Thomas' obsession with Hope. Thomas Forrester's obsession with Hope Logan has long been one of the most perplexing and irritating storylines in The Bold and the Beautiful. Initially a charming and successful Forrester heir, Thomas's descent into obsession and manipulation created a twisted love triangle that bordered on unhealthy. His relentless pursuit of Hope, despite her repeated rejections, was disturbing, and the fact that the writers chose to make him a prominent character despite these troubling behaviors led many to lose sympathy for him. The storyline reached a peak when Thomas went to increasingly extreme lengths to manipulate Hope and others around him. From stalking to creating elaborate schemes, Thomas' obsession was one of the most uncomfortable and unrealistic arcs on the show. What made matters worse was the inconsistency in his character development. One minute he was a villain, the next a misunderstood soul, and the next a redeemed man. It was as if the show didn't know what to do with Thomas, leading to a plot that felt unfocused and at times tone-deaf. 6. Steffy's endless love triangles. Steffy Forrester, much like Hope, has been involved in some ridiculous love triangles over the years. One of the most egregious ones occurred with her relationships with Liam Spencer and Wyatt Spencer, which seemed to drag on forever. Steffy's fickle heart and inability to make a lasting decision regarding which Spencer brother she truly wanted felt like a ploy for more drama, but it never reached a satisfying conclusion. Even after marrying Liam, Steffy continued to wrestle with the same indecisiveness, often flipping back and forth between him and Wyatt. The lack of real growth in Steffy's character during these arcs left many fans frustrated, as it seemed like the writers were unwilling to give her a clear, stable love story. It wasn't just a love triangle, it was a loop where Steffy's indecision never allowed her character to progress in a meaningful way. 7. Ridge's constant back and forth with Brooke and Taylor. One of the longest-running and most exhausting storylines on The Bold and the Beautiful has been Ridge Forrester's endless back and forth between Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes. Ridge's inability to choose between the two women, coupled with his on-again, off-again relationships with both, became a tired and predictable cycle. What made it particularly painful was the way in which the storylines were often recycled without real consequence. Ridge would claim to love one woman, then find himself back with the other after some dramatic incident. There was no real payoff for the audience, as Ridge's choices seemed arbitrary, and the storylines were frequently reset. This endless tug-of-war between Brooke and Taylor, with Ridge always in the middle, felt stale and redundant, contributing to the overall dissatisfaction with the show's pacing. 8. The return of Sheila Carter. Sheila Carter's return to the Bold and the Beautiful was another storyline that seemed to drag on longer than it should have. While Sheila had always been a fan favorite due to her villainous nature, her latest return felt forced and unnecessarily convoluted. The show reintroduced her into Steffy and Finn's life in a dramatic way, as she threatened their happiness and tried to destroy their marriage.